Who do you think had a worse weekend here, Blasi? The handler or Bubba the love sponge?
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got to
that's
know about this. Tell me. I haven't heard about this because I've been preoccupied all weekend with my own struggles. But tell me what's up with the Love Master himself.
man. I'll tell you what. It kind of threw me off on. It was Friday. Amanda sent me a text, and it was a X post, and it was this statement saying that Anna Hummel from the show, co-host of Bubba the Love Sponge, is resigning effective immediately, basically. And I was like, whoa, hold on just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, this is big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something's up here. Now, don't get
yeah,
me wrong. I'm not super surprised in the sense that she's leaving the show, but that was very, very sudden. Like
yeah.
the sudden nature of it.
Oh, she did a show that day.
That morning, yeah, she
Yeah,
did a show that
yeah.
morning.
How long
So,
has she been on the show?
man, she's been on the show now. What? I should know this. I mean, at least well over a year, like a year and a half or so, or maybe
Yeah,
two,
that sounds
two
right. From
or so. Yeah, yeah. She's been there a minute, right? At least two.
Okay.
I know, but so yeah, she was part time over there working, kind of helping with Mike
4
Cal,
years.
the competition.
4
4
years.
years,
Sorry to
3
interrupt.
years.
Yeah.
Or is that 4?
4 years. That's
4
what
years.
Bubba.
I can't read.
Bubba
Okay,
fan
shit.
69
Yeah,
says
see,
4 years.
Back to the COVID thing. I mean, this stuff kind of gets away from you. Yeah, so she's been there a while, and but yeah, so she's no longer there, and there was a little bit of drama that ensued internally. There's multiple layers of this, Jr. So let me back up a minute. Let's put Anna to the side for a minute.
Yeah, it
About
has
a year
to,
ago.
you got to go back to that and
Yeah, I
start
remember
there.
a year ago in April. I remember right where I was for some reason. I was driving passing Freeport High School, and it was just about the show was about to be done. Almost 9 o'clock. I was heading to Pensacola, and then suddenly, right at the end of the show, Bubba starts going to this little thing talking about how Blitz, who's been with him, forever, and is a big part of the show, has been there helping in so many different ways and capacity. He brought Blitz in. They're best friends. He's great guy, awesome, super smart guy. Kind of even thought in my mind when I heard this announcement, like, well, that makes sense. You already got Dan, two smart guys there, whatever, but still surprised by it. But he announces that he is leaving to pursue another opportunity. I think I'd heard something like going to work for a junior college. I don't know. It was just kind of strange. I still thought that was strange. It was sudden, just like Friday. So I didn't, maybe I just, my ear wasn't to the ground good enough, but I didn't hear much else after that. I didn't understand why that happened. Even at the Tampa Tarpons game. So Anna, let me connect these dots too for you. So Anna and Blitz are boyfriend and girlfriend. So they date, right? So even though he's leaving the show, she's staying on the show, and he's pursuing different opportunities. All is well, everything's great. They wrapped it up. It was less than 5 minutes. He said a couple of words, thank you, don't want to cry, I want to do this right here at the end, and just move on. Boom. And that was it, man. I didn't hear anything else. Even when I went to the Tampa Tarpons game, I asked Anna, I was like, hey, is Blitz here? I figured he would still be around. She was like, no, he had some stuff he had to do tonight or whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't think much about it. Well, come to find out, JR, so back to Anna, right? So this Friday, there was some drama that brewed with, she does her own show after the show. She's got her own podcast. Well, there was some issue where there was another podcast that come in. There was an issue about her mic. She's kind of a germaphobe. And the guys that came into this podcast are these barbers and these black guys. And Bubba got on their podcast because they used her mic, and she got mad about it and said that she was racist. And he was just kind of being stupid, right? He didn't really mean it, but he said it.
This is where Bubba gets in his own way.
That's right. So it's not that she's a germaphobe, which she is. She's really freaky. Yeah. She keeps her mic, and everybody's got their own mics in there, and that's really what it was. But he had said some stuff. Well, she got upset about it, got on her show on Friday, and was really ticked off. Found out about this. She called Bubba. So there was a to-do.
I want to make sure I know who's pissed at who here. So she's upset about the mic, which I get that.
Yes,
there's two sides of that. Now, people are peculiar about their mic. I totally understand that. If you do borrow somebody's mic, production team's got to wipe them off with Listerine kind of deal or something. But especially in a big setting like that, I get it. Now, I know, but then them going into the chatter, so then. But it's still not something, you lose
Ain't
your
nobody
shit
getting
over.
fired right now. Nobody's leaving over this.
Jeez,
No.
ain't that big a deal. But,
Not at all. Not at all.
But then he gets mad. Then she's upset because he gets upset because she's mad at him after that because he said she was racist.
Well, no. Actually, this kind of settled down. But during this process on Friday she has her show and she's talking about all this. They're kind of hashing it out. You know what I mean? On the back end.
And he's on there too?
Well, he's not on her show, but I think she had called him. She had talked to him. He knew it was going down. She was kind of getting after him on her show. She was still upset about it. She was still upset about it because he apologized, but she felt like it was a half apology, whatever. He was just being silly. He was just trying to work the room a little bit and just get some laughs, right?
Right.
So, but
anything for a click. And
then, so allegedly, here's where the drama. So then she resigns a couple hours later. And I was like, but they didn't even say that was happening. I mean, other than listening to her show, that's happening.
Right.
Supposedly, he gets a phone call from a competitor, or actually from his, or let's say this, from someone probably within Florida Man Radio, and says, hey, which is the network that they're on and the different markets that they're on. And it says that he found out that Anna had applied to be there was a morning slot open as a co-host with a competitor show in a competitor market at the exact same time in a morning show, right? So I'm going to assume that that's going to be over in Orlando. That's just what I'm guessing. I could be wrong, or it could be Tampa. But it's a competitor market. Well, Bubba found out, so he calls him and lets Bubba know. Then Bubba calls Anna. It's like, is there anything you need to tell me? And blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, nothing. He said, well, here's what I found out. You went and applied for the morning co-host position at our competitor in an exact market that we're in at the exact same time slot. And what really ticked him off, it's like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Like you come to me if you want to make a move. And if you want to go apply for, like a lunch spot or an afternoon drive or some midday deal or morning show in a different market that we're not in, go for it. That's fine. But you're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. So he gave her two options: resign to help her move on, or he could fire her. So that's how that happened. So she elected to resign, drew up something, sent it to him. But you got to think for the past and back to Blitz. Okay, this all unfolded basically overnight. Come back to Blitz. So Blitz left the show right last year, this time April. He's been gone. It's all been solid. Everything's been fine. They've been dating. Everything's cool, but it hadn't been cool. I've noticed. Everybody's noticed. Like there's always been this rub. Like sometimes Anna will say something and Bubba just kind of. It's like, man, there's some anger there. Like why
kind of been a little mean to her.
He is. He's just
straight up.
Tell you, she pisses him off a little bit. Like, and I like Anna. Let me say this: I like Anna. I could just tell there's something there, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Now it all makes sense. You ready for the big kicker, JR?
I couldn't be more excited.
This is where it gets real. So going back, Bubba's been in some IRS crap. Going back last year.
Imagine that.
Yeah, shocker of the year. So he's getting ready. He's going through the books. They're looking at stuff. They're looking at a PayPal account. And on his PayPal account, they're starting to notice all these crazy purchases. I mean, crazy purchases that don't make any sense. I mean, giant purchases to Walmart. I think that totaled $21,000. Size 15 shoes, STD test kits. I mean,
$21,436.22 if you really want to know. Blasi knows the damn number. Don't act like you don't know
$150 STD tests.
Yeah,
very important.
Yeah, jump in on that, Brantley. On all it was crazy. All these purchases that had nothing he felt like to do with the show.
Right.
And I'm gonna wrap this up a little bit because
PayPal account was tagged to one of their computers.
$240,000 total.
Yes,
God.
Like Bubba fan, $240,000 over 3 years. Blitz had been taken from the show.
Crazy.
So,
ordering stuff for himself on the PayPal account.
Yes.
And no one knew it.
No, and it capped because it's IRS thing. They were digging into
Right.
it. So Bubba gave him an ultimatum, which was really kind of unbelievably nice of him to say, hey, just leave. Anna can stay. You're talking about some weirdness.
Yeah.
Anna can stay, but you got to go. We're going to announce it like you're just moving on. Like,
right.
Dude, I felt like that's an unbelievable deal that he got. But I still can't imagine why Anna hung around at that point. Well, she's still dating the guy. You're still there. That's got to just be weird land, man. He coming into work every day. That had to be terrible for her. Awful, probably weird for everybody involved.
It's just weird for everybody involved. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I can only imagine the tension in the room. It makes sense, kind of watching the show. That tension that would be there occasionally, and well, it wasn't occasionally. It's often. It was fairly often, but. Makes total sense. You know that Bubba kind of had suspicions a little bit about this, maybe didn't want to know, but I think he's been knowing for a little bit longer. He's been planting the little seeds and kind of let him hang himself. He brings in his lawyer. What's his name? Tom Head or
Tom Bean. Tom Bean is his manager. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, all the names all day long. I listened to it all morning while I was working.
This is like the guy. This is the guy version of my wife trying to explain to me what's going on Vanderpump or some Bravo show when I walk
exactly what it is.
This is the guy version of that because I'm listening to it. She's telling me it's the same. It's just different people.
It's a soap opera, but it's a real life soap opera.
Hey, but shocker
I
of the
guess
year,
somebody's life. It ain't my life. It's somebody's
check this
life.
out. In Bubba's defense on this one, he had all this recorded. You know, he's good at recording stuff.
He's very good at recording things.
So he was playing back the audio tape when he was questioning Blitz when he let it go about all these purchases, you know, like, and you're getting the response. And so you can go check that out on his podcast. But they got the whole, it's like a 45
Does the guy admit to it? He did it, or is he trying to say
he dances around, man. It's crazy. It's a heck of a dance. It's wild. I mean, he's under. It's a dance.